Welcome to Mzansi TV, the channel where we rank brains instead of biceps. Today, we are counting down the smartest South Africans of all time. Bright tongues down, thinking caps on, because this lineup could power a small nuclear reactor using nothing but sheer forehead wrinkles. Let's get into it.
That is, his thought process is extraordinary.
Number 10. Mark Shuttleworth. This man made his first fortune building internet security software, sold it for enough money to make his accountant faint, and then decided the logical next step was to go to space. Most people who get rich buy a yacht. Mark looked at a Russian rocket and said, "Book me a seat. I would like to see Earth from a distance where South African load shedding cannot find me." He also funded Ubuntu, the operating system that convinced an entire generation of computer science students they were hackers because their desktop background had a cool circle of dots on it.
The universe out there really represents extraordinary opportunity and in many senses the future for all of us. So I had a sense that the space programs both in the US and Russia were opening up.
Number 9. Trevor Noah. Some people think comedy and intelligence do not mix. Those people have never watched Trevor Noah casually switch between 6 languages mid-joke while explaining geopolitics to an American audience that still struggles to find Africa on a map. Growing up as, in his own words, technically a crime under apartheid law, he turned an incredibly difficult childhood into sharp, quick-witted commentary that eventually landed him a desk job making fun of world leaders on American television. That is not luck. That is a brain running at full clock speed at all times.
Like, I always ask myself the question, I go, how do I know I'm wrong? How do I know I'm wrong? What if I'm wrong? What if I'm wrong right now? What if I'm wrong? You know, I'm always playing that in my head because I always have to think about the possibility that I could be wrong.
Number 8. Christiaan Barnard. In 1967, this surgeon looked at a human heart and thought, you know what? I bet I could just swap this one out. Then he actually did it, performing the world's first human-to-human heart transplant. Keep in mind, this was an era when the most advanced piece of home technology was a rotary telephone.
Dr. Barnard was out here doing organ swaps like he was upgrading a car battery, and somehow the patient survived long enough to prove it was not a fluke.
Well, not the people that I've spoken to. I mean, people like the boss and Donald Ross and those people, they're all in favor of going on with heart transplantation.
Number 7. Allan Klug. Winner of the Nobel Prize in Chemistry, Allan Klug developed a technique for figuring out the detailed structure of viruses and other biological molecules using electron microscopes. In simpler terms, he found a way to take incredibly detailed photographs of things so small that regular cameras would just shrug and give up. His work laid groundwork that modern biologists still use today. The man basically invented a microscopic paparazzi career and got a Nobel Prize for it.
Was the particle filament, which you could see it on the microscope labeled by antibodies. And at the same time, the preparations, of course, where you could tell.
Number 6. Allan Cormack. Ever had a CT scan? You can thank this physicist. Allan Cormack developed the mathematical theory that made computed tomography possible, allowing doctors to see cross-sections of the human body without needing to open anyone up first. He worked out the math for this while also holding down a full-time teaching job because apparently revolutionizing medical imaging was just his evening hobby. He later won the Nobel Prize in Physiology or Medicine, which is a fairly good side project result. Number 5. Sydney Brenner. Sydney Brenner helped crack open some of the biggest mysteries of molecular biology, including how genetic information gets translated into proteins. And he did groundbreaking work using a tiny worm to understand how nerve cells develop and how organisms age. He eventually won a Nobel Prize for research that started with essentially staring very closely at worms. If anyone ever tells you that watching tiny creatures wiggle around is a waste of time, please inform them that it is in fact science.
Now, of course, my colleague Francis Crick also got interested in brains about the same time, but he, as is well known, went off in a different direction.
Number 4. Max Theiler. Yellow fever used to be one of the most feared diseases on the planet. Max Theiler looked at that fact and decided it was simply unacceptable. So he developed a vaccine for it, becoming the first African-born scientist to win a Nobel Prize. His vaccine is still used today and has saved an almost uncountable number of lives. Somewhere out there, mosquitoes are still filing formal complaints about this man. Number 3. J.M. Coetzee. Winner of the Nobel Prize in Literature, J.M. Coetzee writes novels so precise and unsettling that literature professors need a strong cup of coffee just to unpack a single paragraph. His stories dig into colonialism, morality, and human nature with a level of psychological depth that makes most other novelists look like they are writing grocery lists. Being smart is not just about equations and vaccines. Sometimes it is about making an entire room go quiet after one perfectly constructed sentence.
As a family, we owned only a handful of books. The children's encyclopedia became my staple reading until the age of 9 or 10.
Number 2. Desmond Tutu. Archbishop Desmond Tutu combined moral clarity with strategic brilliance in a way that helped guide South Africa through one of the most difficult transitions any country has ever faced, from apartheid toward democracy. He won the Nobel Peace Prize for his work and later chaired the Truth and Reconciliation Commission, essentially acting as the country's emotional and ethical GPS during a time when it would have been very easy to get lost. Being the smartest is not only about intellect. Sometimes it is about knowing exactly the right thing to say at exactly the right moment in front of an entire nation. Number 1. Elon Musk. Whether people love him, question him, or argue about him on the internet for entertainment purposes, there is no denying the sheer scale of ambition here. Starting with early internet payment software, moving into electric cars, private rockets that land themselves, and satellite internet, Elon Musk built an empire based on ideas that most people would consider science fiction. He also has a habit of posting online at 3 in the morning, which either means he never sleeps or his brain simply refuses to stop generating ideas even when it is supposed to be resting.
Whatever your opinion of him, this is a very South African level of stubborn, big picture thinking aimed directly at the stars. And that wraps up our countdown of the smartest South Africans of all time. Did we miss your favorite genius? Let us know in the comments. Subscribe for more countdowns, and remember, greatness can come from anywhere, even from a country famous for biltong, rugby, and occasionally unpredictable electricity supply.